Hey y'all, my name is Priscilla and welcome back to my channel Bookie Charm. For today's video, I'm going to be sharing a library haul with you. Okay, so I really enjoy library hauls and I've wanted to incorporate library books and library hauls in my channel more often. I don't often do that because I feel really weird about it. I feel like it's a pseudo TBR and that I may be setting myself up for failure because, as you'll see today, I check out a lot of library books. Very much more than I could read within the time allotted for that hold before it expires. So yeah, I don't know if this is going to be a reoccurring thing on my channel, but we'll see how I feel about it. And I will tell you, of course, the titles, what I know about them, and maybe why I picked them up. That's enough. You know what a library haul is. So let's get started. The first pick that I have is A Map to the Sun, which is written and illustrated by Sloane Leong. And this is a YA contemporary graphic novel. If you saw my goals videos, you know that I want to incorporate reading more graphic novels. And this one, I think, was put on my radar from A2 Brody, the channel A2 Brody, for, I believe, an Indigiqueer related video. This is written by a person of mixed indigenous ancestry. I believe specifically Sloane is a cartoonist and artist of Hawaiian, Chinese, Italian, Mexican, Native American, and European ancestries. And this graphic novel is very, very colorful, like very different style for me. And it's a story of a basketball player and a friendship between this basketball player and a surfer. And it follows them over years, their friendship, and all of the terrible things that they go through in their lives over a span of years. And I've already started this, so I don't know too much about it, but yeah, that's A Map to the Sun. Then I have Just Us, An American Conversation by Claudia Rankine. And this is I think sort of like a mixed media sort of story book. Claudia Rankine, is that how you pronounce her name? That's another thing about book hauls. Like, I don't have the time to necessarily look up all of these authors' pronunciations, but this author is also the poet who wrote Citizen. And that's a poetry collection I've been very much interested in. Haven't really picked up, but I've heard a lot of great things about. And this book came out just last year. And I believe it's an interrogation into a conversation about whiteness in America. And yeah, so there's pictures and essays and poetry, and it's a really neat sort of multimedia experience that I'm very much looking forward to. Then I have Inventing Latinos, a new story of anti-racism America from Laura E. Gómez. This is a nonfiction story, I think, from Professor of Law, Sociology, and Chicana Studies from UCLA. So I have a feeling this is going to be a bit academic. How Latinos influence everything from electoral politics to popular culture. And it's this idea that Latinos are this long-standing racial group, which is fraught with all sorts of misconceptions and stereotypes and inaccuracies, to be quite honest. And that's something that I've been interested in learning more about. And I believe this book was put on my radar from a list of, I think it was NPR's concierge list. They had like a top list of 2020. That's initially what put it on my radar. And I've been really wanting to get more into like Latinx, Chicanx studies books. So that's where this book came from. Then I have some poetry. I have an incomplete list of names, poems by Michael Torres. This is a poetry book, I think was also from that NPR list. So I guess I got a couple of things from there. And it's a debut collection that grapples with the rules, the names, hometown languages, and other perceptions of our understanding of ourselves and our worlds. So that was enough for me, I think. I just want to read more Latinx poetry and discover more Latinx poets. Then I have a Praise Song for the Butterflies, a novel by Bernice L. McFadden. I had to look on the side because I hate it when the stickers cover the author's names, but yeah, that's what's happening here. This is a book that I've heard a lot of good things about. In general, about McFadden, there's a picture of her there, that she's one of the like well-renowned novelists of our time. I think she gets a lot of comparisons to Toni Morrison, and she's got a long backlist. And I know that Dee over at Brown Girl Reading loves McFadden, and February, of course, is Black History Month. Read So Lit. And I think that this is also from an indie publisher, one of the publishers, I think, in the past for the Indie Press Project. So all those things, I think the stars aligned for me to pick this book up. I feel like it's one of those books that I've heard so many people talk about, and I've just instinctively been like, yeah, I need to read that, but not really held in exactly what this story is. I have a feeling it's very sad, and maybe that's why I kind of blacked that out. It's a sacrifice of his daughter that will serve as an atonement for the crimes of his ancestors. Unspeakable acts befall for 15 years as she is held in the shrine. Ah, yes, I remember that. Sounds heartbreaking. So of course I want to read it. Then I have two books that I checked out that were directly influenced from Ariel over at She Wants Addiction. First, starting with When They Call You a Terrorist, a Black Lives Matter memoir by Patrisse, Khan-Cullors, and Asha Bandele. This is a memoir from one of the founders of Black Lives Matter, the Black Lives Matter movement. And I've heard a lot of good things about this for years on BookTube. It was one of those favorites the year that it came out. I think it came out like in 2015, 2016, around that time. And I've never read it. And Ariel said in her video that she wants to read all of the books or some books by the creators and founders of Black Lives Matter. And I thought that was a really cool goal. You should definitely go watch that video and listen to what she has to say about that. But that's When They Call You a Terrorist. And the other is The Purpose of Power, How We Come Together When We Fall Apart by Alicia Garza, another one of the co-founders for Black Lives Matter. So just two memoirs. Next, I have the Beadworkers stories from Beth Piatote. This is an Indigenous short story collection. I believe that Piatote is, yes, a professor of Native American Studies. And this is a book I picked up initially because it is a part of the Indie Press Project. It's Counterpoint Press, which I believe is the press for February this year. And I've also heard really good things about this book from Thunderbird Lady, I think is her Instagram handle. So that's all I really know about it. So that's the Beadworkers. Then I have Love After the End, an anthology of Two-Spirit and Indigiqueer speculative fiction edited by Joshua Whitehead. Whitehead is an Indigenous poet, author that I've heard a lot about, that I've wanted to read from. And this is, I believe, just like it says, an anthology of SFF stories. It says that it showcases a number of new and emerging Two-Spirit and queer Indigenous writers from across Turtle Island. Yeah, that was all enough for me to pick up this anthology. Then I have Mean by Myriam Gurba, and I actually have no idea what this is, but Gurba is one of the reviewers that kind of broke, I think, the American Dirt controversy wide open, and how terrible that book is, and how stereotypical it is for white people to write Latinx stories incorrectly and harmfully. So this is a true crime memoir and ghost story, a bold and hilarious tale of Gurba's coming of age as a queer mixed race Chicana. That's definitely why I wanted to pick up Mean. Then I have Black Futures, edited by Kimberly Drew and Jenna Wortham. This book is a lot heavier than it looks. This is another one of those multimedia books about anti-racism and Blackness, and how yeah, just look at this. It's so cool. It's like pictures and articles and all kinds of things in this book that I'm really excited to get to. On the back here, it says it's an archive of collective memory and exuberant testimony. Roxane Gay is hosting a book club this year called the Audacious Book Club. This was the January pick, and they had a discussion with the creators of this, and it just sounded really, really great. I was one of the first to check this book out, so that was kind of exciting as well. And yeah, can't wait to pick this up. Then I have The Uninhabitable Earth, Life After Warming by David Wallace Wells. This is a book about climate change. It's nonfiction, and it was, I think, longlisted last year for the BookTube Prize, and it was one of those books that got rave reviews from just about most of the people that I saw review it. And it's one that I've really wanted to get to. I've also just been interested in reading more about climate change in general, although I've heard this is very bleak and very honest, and yeah, there's no turning back from us with the damage that we've already done, and I want to learn more about that. So yeah, the first line in the jacket copy says, "It is worse, much worse than you think. If your anxiety about global warming is dominated by fears of sea level rise, you are barely scratching the surface of what terrors are possible." So yeah, it's a gripping travelogue of the near future. And lastly, I have Why Didn't We Riot? A Black Man in Trumpland by Isaac J. Bailey. This is a book that I actually have tried to read. I actually DNF'd it, but I'll tell you about it because I have it still. This is a collection of essays from a professor of communications, all about Trumpism, Trumpland, and trying to understand Trump supporters. And I didn't really get along with this too much because of a lot of the uncomfy comparisons that he made in order to get people to understand the psyche of people and kind of empathize with the faults of Trump's cult of supporters that I don't think is necessary. And it just made me feel weird. And there's a picture in the front here of this black man that is kind of like consoling this white Trump supporter, which kind of gives you an idea of what this book is about. I don't know. He had a lot of great things to say, but it just, it was walking a fine line of sympathy that I think crossed lines for me, apparently, that I said, no, thank you. So yeah, that's why didn't we riot? And those are the books that I currently have checked out from the library. I also have some audiobooks that I'm not going to get into because that would be way too much. And a lot of them Yvette checked out anyway. So you could check out her video that she recently filmed for all the details about those. Yeah, if you made it to the end of this video, feel free to say hi in the comments down below or share any interest that you have in any of the books that I showed you today. That would be cool. But yeah, that's all I have for this video. So thank you so much for watching, and I hope to catch you in the next one. Bye.